There's a new number one in our CBS Sports MLB Power Rankings. Yankees out, Phillies back in. 6 teams are within a game of each other for best record in baseball. We're also going to lean heavily into the AL Central, which features 3 teams in the top 10. I'm Tommy Tran, now joined by Matt Snyder, who puts our power rankings together, and Jim Bowden, our MLB insider. He's going to deliver any team news and, of course, offer his thoughts on Snyder's rankings. Okay, there's always been some change at the top. Matt, you've talked about it, about 5 teams always in a conversation for number one, but let's land with Philly and talk about Philadelphia in this slot.
Yeah, well, there's going to be 6 in the conversation now. The Brewers have played their way into that conversation. We actually have 6 teams within 1 game of each other for the best record in baseball. I can't remember when something like this has been the case past the midpoint of August. To have 6 teams within 1 game of the best record in baseball is unbelievable. Maybe that means we're going to have a very fun playoffs. But look, every one of these teams has struggled mightily for a few weeks at a time in this season, and the Phillies came off a tough road trip. They came home against the Marlins and Nationals, and I thought they needed to get right. I guess 4-2 means they kind of got right there. I think I was probably hoping for 5-1. It would have made it a lot easier. But I thought the key to them getting back on top was Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez. Sanchez just threw a complete game and looked very good on Saturday night. Ranger Suarez is going to get back to the rotation from the injured list this week. That means the rotation is solidified. The bullpen looks good. The offense really started humming along, starting with the second game this past week. So I think that they're back there. But this coming week, they've got that series against the Braves. They have a 7-game lead. If they get swept there, they're only up 4. On the flip side, if they sweep the Braves, they're up 10. Something in between is very good for the Phillies. It's going to be very fun to see how it all transpires.
I think there's a pretty good chance that the Phillies stay on top of Matt's list from here on out. I think they're the best team in baseball, and sure, they had a hiccup like all teams do, but I think when you really break down their team from top to bottom, they are the best team in this sport right now. And I think what helps them is the fact that the Dodgers have had so many injuries to their starting pitchers. And now with Tyler Glasnow on the IL with the elbow, Yamamoto's not back yet. Walker Buehler does not look like the same guy he was before as Tommy John. Kershaw's just a shell of what he was. So I think the Phillies have separated themselves in the National League. And you look at Zach Wheeler, last 3 starts, ERA of 1.35. He's just a dominant one. Aaron Nola, 6 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. And as Matt mentioned, Sanchez went 9 innings, 1 earned run over the weekend. And then you got Kyle Schwarber red hot with his 6 homers and 15 RBIs over the last couple of weeks. Phillies are the best team in this league, and it's by a lot now, not a little in my opinion.
And that's been reflective. We put up a nice graphic there of teams to hold the top spot in Matt Snyder's power rankings, and the Phillies have had 10, which is more than double the next 2, which I think were the Braves and the Yankees. All right, Matt, you mentioned what was sort of a power 5 is now a big 6, and we're talking about the Fighting Pat Murphys here with the Brew Crew. What has stood out to you about what they've been able to do, and how are you projecting them moving forward?
Their resilience. I mean, I think the next man up thing has kind of become a talking point over the years and maybe a little bit of a cliche, but they have completely embodied that this season. It started with losing their manager, Craig Counsell. They already knew that Brandon Woodruff was going to be out for the season. Corbin Burns got traded right before spring training, or maybe right after. It was so long ago, I don't remember. It was in February. Then Devin Williams got hurt in spring training. Now Christian Yelich is out for the season, and he'd been one of their best players all year. It's just a team that keeps fighting through adversity. It's unbelievable the way that they've been able to withstand all of this stuff that has been thrown at them. I think that they have been, under the circumstances, the most impressive team in all of baseball. And if you look at that division right there, I remember heading into the season, a lot of us, and I say us because I was in that boat, thought 1 through 5, this is going to be the closest division in baseball. That is to say, whoever comes in last is going to be closest to first place, closer to first place than any other last place team. And it had the chance to be 4-team race, 5-team race going into September. Instead, this thing's over. The Brewers are going to win this thing. So it's unbelievable what they've been able to do. And again, you cannot sing their praises enough for the way that they've had so many guys step up and get the job done in lieu of all the injury adversity that they have had.
They have the biggest lead of any division leader, and believe it or not, they have a shot to have the best record in the National League. And what would that mean? That would mean home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I mean, can you imagine that with Milwaukee? Look, when you trade Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff, your next best pitcher goes down, to have an 11-game lead this late in the season is just incredible. Give a lot of credit to Colin Ray. Great pickup by Milwaukee. He's had 11 wins with a 3.5 ERA. And the rookie Tobias Myers, people don't talk about him enough, but 6 wins and an ERA under 3 all year. He's been really good, and that's been a difference for them. They're getting the offense from the 3 guys in the middle. Willie Adames over the last 15 days has 5 homers, and he is 3rd among all shortstops in home runs since 2021. The catcher, William Contreras, one of the best in the sport. He's also had 5 homers over the last 15 days. And how about Jackson Chourio? He didn't hit in April, he didn't hit in May, and he's hit .310 since. Unbelievable. Last 15 days, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, hitting .309. I love what Pat Murphy has done with this team. They have one of the best bullpens in the league, and I'm telling you, they're scary. On my power rankings, I would have them 2nd, believe it or not, in the National League, at least, behind the Phillies and ahead of the Dodgers, because I think right now they're healthier, and it's a great defensive team. They've got a lot of speed. They can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Love that. By the way, Pat Murphy, a heavy favorite to win NL Manager of the Year. Now, Mike Schultz, a long shot, and that's about it. Technically a 2-skipper race, but really, again, it is going to be Murphy's to lose. Okay, it's not that close in the NL Central. It is much closer in the AL Central. Matt Snyder, reflective of your power rankings here, take me through what you're thinking right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Guardians have actually been pretty shaky here for going on almost 2 months. You go back to their high water point in the season in terms of games over 500. It was June 28th. Since then, they're 21-26. Starting pitching is shaky. We know it has been for a while. Maybe Alex Cobb can build on last outing there and give them a bit of a boost. They still have that top-heavy offense that we talked about even when they were number 1. The bullpen, aside from Clase, seems like it's tiring a bit, and that had been one of their big cheat codes this season. A lot of things are going to get sorted out here in the next couple of weeks because they have 7 games against the Royals before September 4th. So it's going to be interesting to see. The Twins, Joe Ryan going down really hurts them, but Bailey Ober has been amazing recently. The Royals in their own right have won 12 of the last 18. They have the best player in this division in Bobby Witt Jr. by a nose over Jose Ramirez, but he is the best here. I think it's going to be a 3-team race down to the wire. One item of note, the Guardians do have 3 games left against the White Sox. Both the Twins and the Royals are done with the White Sox, and that's a big deal because both of them went 12-1 this season against the White Sox.
You know, the Guardians, it's interesting. How about being 2nd in the league in team ERA, but your starting pitchers are 12th in the league in ERA? That's because their bullpen's the best in the sport, period, with a 2.67 ERA. And their closer, Emmanuel Clase, has been so good that he's now in the Cy Young conversation with Tariq Skubal and Corbin Burnes. This is an offense that's 7th in baseball in runs scored. They're 3rd in stolen bases. Most of the offense comes from Ramirez and Naylor. But the starting pitching's a big question mark down the stretch. Now, the Minnesota Twins are a fascinating team because they win with their power, but not the power we were expecting when the season started, right? They're 4th in baseball in both home runs and OPS, but it's Ryan Jeffers and Carlos Santana that lead them in home runs. So why isn't it Royce Lewis or Byron Buxton or Carlos Correa? Well, because we've watched them on the IL. In fact, Buxton's only played 90 games this year, Royce Lewis 46, and Carlos Correa 75. The key to the Twins down the stretch is going to be the health of those 3 stars. If those guys can stay healthy, they're going to win this division. Now, for Kansas City, I'm a believer. I think they're going to get the 3rd wild card. I'm telling you, they're 4th in the American League in runs scored. Nobody strikes out less than this offense. Bobby Witt is the top 3 player in baseball with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, already with 25 homers and 25 steals. And how many teams can say they have 4 starting pitchers that have started between 22 and 25 games, all with ERAs of 3.3 or less? Seth Lugo, Colin Reagans, Brady Singer, Michael Wacha have all done it. Kansas City, believe in them. They're going to make the playoffs as that 3rd wild card team. Sorry, Seattle. Sorry, Boston.
Great stuff as always, Jim Bowden, Matt Snyder. Guys, certainly appreciate it. By the way, you can check out the bottom tier of Matt Snyder's power rankings on CBSSports.com. Take a look at the notable MLB games tonight. Your biggest favorites, the Padres, minus $1.56 against the Twins.